What is up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Songs for Breakfast. As always, I am your host, Chris. I am the host, the only host, the host with the most, the guy who thinks about music all the time and has decided to make that everybody else's problem. I think we're going to start doing things a little different. I was thinking about it, and the reviews were fun, but I don't think that I want to keep doing the reviews. I think that getting to look at music from a critical standpoint just kind of takes the fun out of listening to music for me. So I don't think that I want to do that anymore. So I think I'm actually going to cut out the reviews. I think I'm actually just going to remove those from the format and just talk about music. I think that would be a lot better, actually. So from now on, you don't have to suffer through any reviews. You just get me talking about music, which I think is going to be more fun for me, going to be more fun for the listener. The reviews thing was just an idea. Didn't work out how I wanted it to work out, so that's fine. And also, there's plenty of music critics on the internet. There's plenty of people out there listening, telling you what to listen to. You don't need me to tell you what to listen to. So, you don't need me as a critic saying, well, this is good and this is bad and this is good and this is bad, because that's really not why I'm here. The main reason I'm here is to discuss songs and do commentary on songs and talk about what they're about, talk about what they mean, and then use this as a sense of catharsis, or almost as like a living journal to talk about what they mean to me as well. So, and you guys come along with me on that ride, and I appreciate that, because I appreciate my listeners. And of course, if you want to contact me, if you're a listener and you want to contact me, of course you can do so at songsforbreakfast@gmail.com. But yeah, we're not doing any more reviews. So if you were like, man, I hate the reviews, but I love the discussion, today is your lucky day, because we're no longer doing reviews. I have decided against it. But let's just get into it. So let's just jump right into it. There's a lot that can be said about the music and the lyrics of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Some find their love of California weird, but I find it charming. If people can brag about being from New York in their music, why can't the Chili Peppers express their love for California? I digress. I don't want to rant about people shouting out, their homes and songs. All I'm saying is, if you can write about loving West Virginia, you can write about loving California, and most of the time, that's exactly what the Red Hot Chili Peppers do. However, on their 2006 album Stadium Arcadium, Chili Peppers had a soft song that didn't actually mention California. The song is the 2006 single Snow Hey-Yo. There are those that have said the song is uncharacteristic of the guys in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I don't think that's the case. They do have a history of writing up-tempo music with a positive message. So what is the message in Snow? Well, I think that's an interesting question. And I personally think that, and many will agree, that it's about starting over and having a blank slate. And maybe cocaine. Most definitely cocaine. Anthony Kiedis loved cocaine. So definitely some cocaine references in there, but I also think that more importantly, it's about starting over and having a blank slate. I think. But anyway, the song opens with, come to decide the things that I've tried were in my life just to get high on. Getting high, cocaine. When I sit alone, come get a little known, but I need more than myself this time. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe that we rely on. When I lay it on, come get to play it on. All my life to sacrifice. So if you notice right there, where in my life to get high on, all that, you're starting to get that feeling that, he's talking about drugs and that he wants to change. Here it seems like he's done a lot to get high in his life, whether it be feeling the high from activities or getting high from drugs. And he has done a lot of things where he just sits alone and realizes that he needs more than himself. He needs more than the drugs. The rest of the verse seems to confirm that by stating he's taking steps, and that he's starting to rely on others, and he sees the error in his ways and is willing to make a sacrifice. So he's willing to maybe give up drugs to be a better person, start over, do things better. And I think that's interesting, And then you got your chorus portion that says, hey-o, listen what I say-o. I got your hey-o, now listen what I say-o. So that's kind of a sing-songy part. And he says, then when will I know when I really can't go to the well once more, time to decide on. Now, going back to the well and not being able to go back to the well, that's kind of a cliche in music, but it's done really well here. He's seeing that he can't keep going to the same old well as before. He isn't getting anything out of it anymore, namely drugs. The song title, Snow, could be used in two ways, obviously. In one way, it's absolutely a reference to cocaine from Anthony Kiedis. He's known to have used it. I joked about that earlier, but it's absolutely true. But snow can also be seen as a blank slate, like seeing the ground covered in fresh snow. So I think that's our first hint of like the wordplay there is the word snow. It goes on to say, when it's killing me, when will I really see? All I need to do is a look inside. Come to believe that I better not leave before I get my chance to ride. So he knows his addiction's killing him, and he looks inside and sees that he can't risk the death before he has his chance to ride. And I'm assuming that means the ride of life. Like he doesn't want to die before his ride of life is over with. And you're going to hear some repetition in there. I mean, it's a really good song, but it is really repetitive. And you're eventually going to get to the lyrics, the more I see, the less I know, the more I'd like to let it go. Hey-oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Once again, the sing-songy stuff in there at the end. But it's like the more he sees, the less he understands, right? He wants to just let go and start over, and he found that maybe this is the opportunity to do so. I can't talk. I write these scripts, and I read them, and I'm like, who wrote this? And then I realize it's me. I'm the one that uses words like accoutrement and shit. But anyway, this is where you get to another really important part. He says, deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, privately divided by a world so undecided, and there's nowhere to go. And then he says that again, in between the cover of another perfect wonder, while it's so white as snow, running through the field where all my tracks will be concealed, and there's nowhere to go. So he's saying snow is the perfect wonder, a metaphor for starting a fresh life that he's been looking for. He's divided all of his life, all the things that he's done. He's desiring to change and start anew. He describes running through a field, his tracks being covered, and I think this also works as a metaphor for a blank slate and starting again. Like, you go through a field, you make your mark on that field, more snow falls, and your mark is gone. You got a blank slate to start over with again. And I think that's really the point of that section of lyrics. And then it goes on to say, when to descend and amend for a friend all the channels that have broken down. Now you bring it up, I'm going to ring it up just to hear you sing it out. Now, this is kind of weird, I think. But I think that I kind of broke it down to where it at least makes sense for me. When you're on drugs, you tend to make bad decisions, and this may include messing up a friendship or a relationship. Part of starting over is he wants to make amends for that. Now the channels have broken down. He wants to communicate and call the voice and hear their voice and hear them sing their voice out. He wants to hear their voice again for the first time, maybe in a long time. So you get another repetition of the chorus, and then the song actually ends on the note. And I love the way the song ends. And we have this earlier in the song too. That deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder section, where it's so white as snow. I love that section because I love the cadence of it. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder. I love the cadence of that. It's fantastic. And he brings the back in that at the end of the song, he says, I said, hey, oh yeah, tell my love now. Hey, yeah, oh yeah. So, you've got that kind of sing-songy stuff in there again. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are known for that. They're known for having portions of the song where you can sing along. But I think what's the important lyric out of all of that is tell my love now, right? So he's bringing back the idea of snow being the perfect way to start over in this sing-songy, between the sing-songy hey-os, He says, tell my love now. I feel this is him saying, tell those he loves, despite what he has happened and what he's done, he wants to start anew and be a better man. And I think it's a really good sentiment. I think it's a really nice way to end on the song. Every time I hear the song, now we've kind of went through the lyrics. Every time I hear the song, I think of walking through a field of freshly fallen snow on the cold winter morning, crunching underneath my feet, like something new is happening, something is fresh, something, it's just a whole new world, when the world's covered in snow like that. Something I think about as well is how this serves for a really good metaphor. And I think it serves for a really good metaphor in life, You may leave tracks in the field, and you may do things that you regret. And you may have a hard time with things, but the snow's going to fall and cover those tracks, and you have a chance to start over. And I think that's really, really awesome. And I think that's what we should take away from that song, and that's what I take away from the song. What do you think about the song? What's your interpretation of the song? And if you do, let me know. If you have a request, let me know. Once again, I'm available at songsforbreakfast@gmail.com. I always look forward to hearing from people. So send me a message. Tell me your favorite song. That's what I want to know. I want to know your favorite song right now. I want to know what you're listening to, what it reminds you of. Really, give me the skinny on it. Really get in there for me and give me the skinny on what you're listening to and what it reminds you of. But thank you all for listening. I hope you have an amazing day, and hopefully I will see you next time.